All right, hello everyone, and welcome to the basics of WeVideo, and more specifically, how to create a screencast with WeVideo and using some of its basic features. So one fun fact is when you are sharing your whole screen, which is what I'm doing, and you want to make it go away, you click the hide button. I'll talk about what that does and how you get it back. So this is the WeVideo editor, and there are a number of different pages that I can click on. So you start off with your dashboard, and later on I'll go over what these 4 pages do a little more specifically. But your dashboard is your home page. It has some recent edits that you did. It has abilities to create new recordings and videos real quickly. So you want to make sure that you access your projects first, and you want to add a new project down here. So it says create new project. And the reason why you want to create a new project is because you want it to have a way to organize your videos. So, for example, if I was going to run around and do some PowerPoints, I would do uh, PowerPoint videos as a project title, and then you want to make it personal for now. We can talk a little bit later about collaborative or shared projects later. It's a little more advanced, but you do have access to that uh, in case you want it. So it would be personal, and then you go to next, and then you can add media to start. You can share it with you later, but we're not going to worry about that for now. I'm going to go to next, and we're going to go to finish. Great. So I don't really need to worry about starting a new edit right now. Media is where your stored clips goes, things that you've already done, and you can add new folders to help organize it. So in case this looks really, really messy to you, you can always add these clips to folders, either sharing them or moving them to different places as you like. Exports are finished videos, and I'll talk a little more about this in a second. Okay, so you're ready to start WeVideo, which is great. You've clicked on the link that I shared with you, and now you're ready to run it for real. So on the website, wevideo.com, you're going to log in. You're going to log in with Google. Now, it goes really quickly now because I've already logged in another place. So I'm not going to worry too much about that. All right, so now I'm ready to record an introduction. So I'm going to go to recording to create a new one. And for this one, I'm going to use screen and webcam. So webcam would just give you a webcam only recording. Screen is a screen only recording, and a screen and webcam recording gives you both and also allows you to go back and forth and edit them. They do put those two recordings on two separate tracks, and you can go back and forth and change them or get rid of your webcam for a little while. We'll talk a little more about that in a second. So screen and webcam for this one, and I am going to go and save this in PowerPoint videos. Of course, I misspelled PowerPoint videos, but that's fine. I can't spell for the life of me sometimes. I'll fix that later. Okay. So I'm going to go to next. Okay, so I get my webcam set up, and I'm going to use my external microphone. I'm going to go to next. And for PowerPoints, especially Google Slides, you do want to share your entire screen because that'll preserve the aspect ratio. For some reason, when you present a tab and it doesn't go full screen, the screen recording smushes it a little bit and it gets black bars up and down, and you don't really want that. So that's fine. All right, I'm going to go and hide this. So now, as soon as that go is done, you are recording. So I'm going to go to my slideshow that I've created. I'm going to start the first slide here. And I'm going to click present. And I'm going to go and wait for the bottom bar to go away, which it did. And I'm going to go, hey, welcome to a video about WeVideo and its basics. So WeVideo is a Chrome application that you use your school Google account to access, and it can help you create and organize and share videos and podcasts and other sorts of media pretty easily. Okay, so to sign up, so this is a one-time only thing. You'll use this link, and this is either one in presentation or the link that was emailed when I shared this out with staff. And you're going to click join with a new account if you've never used WeVideo before, which I presume is most of you. And you're going to use your FCPS Google account to actually make your WeVideo account. This is staff only for now. If you do have an interest in students signing up and creating projects with WeVideo, talk to me about it. I can go and reach out and get those students added for you. But just for now, it's a staff only resource. Okay, so when you log into WeVideo, you're going to use wevideo.com, and you're going to click login in the top right of the screen, and then log in with Google. You're going to use your school Google account to log in, and that's going to be your master account. Okay, so as far as the tabs go, your first tab is going to be your dashboard, and you can start a new video, which is just a video.
Call from private caller.
And we're going to talk about how do you edit things out in a second, because that happens in life. Okay, so your first screen is your dashboard, and from your dashboard, you can create a number of new recording types. So a new video is a video project from scratch. If you want to bring in media clips or video files that you've already created, you can use the new video option. New recording is when you're doing screencasts like this one, or you want to record off your webcam or some sort of combination thereof. The animated GIF option allows you to make a up to 45-second animated GIF of a different process, a video of anything you're looking to share, but you want to put as an animated GIF because it attaches to things like Google Docs or PowerPoint or tweets or any other place you've seen animated GIFs. And yes, I use the word animated GIF. I like the hard G sound. Don't at me. Finally is the podcast option. And really what that does is it opens up your microphone to record. So you can also edit the audio of your microphone recordings. You can add music in the background. You can do all sorts of effects using sort of their audio editor in the podcast function. So the projects tab is where you really want to start. You want to make sure you create a new project first before making your recording. So that's under the create a new project down there. You can organize it through whatever names you want, screen recordings, PowerPoints, what have you. You can make folders to keep your projects organized. So depends on what works for you. The reason why I recommend a project is because when you are creating a screencast and you click on recording, you can share it directly to that project and have easy access to it later. So it just helps with organization. Your next tab is media, and this is where either screen recordings or other things that you've uploaded to WeVideo are added. So since this WeVideo is a giant county account, you don't have to worry too much about storage limits within your own account. So not to go too crazy, but for mostly of what you're going to do of creating basic videos and other guides, you should be fine. But this is where all those are in, and you can access each of these different media files and attach them to projects or manipulate them through the media tab here. And finally, the other one I'm going to go over is exports. So when you're done, you can export your video, in which case you can download it as an MP4 file. You can share it with your students. You can add it to your Google Drive. And there are ways to instantaneously add things to YouTube, which I will show you how to do at the end in using the larger guide. So really, that's the basics of the 4 tabs. So now that we're done with the screen recording, I'm going to hit escape to get out of this. And I am going to open up this to stop sharing. And so now we go back to the tab with our screen recording, and you can preview. So now, as soon as that go is done, you are recording. So I'm going to go to my slideshow that I've created. I'm going to start the first slide here. All right, so you can decide whether you like it or not. You can have the option to record it again. You can cancel it, which will just cancel the whole thing, or you can hit save. So I'm pretty happy with this. I'm going to click save. And now what you will see is your 2 tracks. These are both the video tracks here. This is your live preview. So now, as soon as that go, you can play on that. You can go to the end of the file. You can go to the beginning of the file. That's what that basically does. You can change the aspect ratio, which is great for if you have a vertical video that you want to save. So if you want to adjust it and make it 9:16, which is vertical, and then it's going to be like, what are you doing, man? It can do that. You shouldn't really mess with it too much, though. All right, let's bring it back to 16:9. That's what we want. All right, so the other All right, so to start off, you got your tracks here. Now, you want to also find your soundtrack. And to do... So you want to find your soundtrack. And so by clicking the little speaker function here, it'll show you the volume. So now we can see the soundtrack here. This is not actually your sound wave. So the WeVideo has to process it a little bit, and then eventually you'll see this as the actual sound wave. So when you are creating your edit, you can use the play, which actually is a better way to do this. So I'm going to hit play. The bottom bar to go away, which it did, and I'm going to go, hey, welcome to a video about WeVideo and its basics. So WeVideo is a Chrome, and I'm going to go and wait for the bottom bar to go away, which it did, and I'm going to go, hey. Okay, so this is where we want to start. I should have given a little more pause there, but that's okay. So there are ways to trim this video. So if you click the edge, that'll give you a trim, and you can... That's not what we want to do. We actually want to do it from here. So this is the playhead. So when you move this cursor back and forth, and I'm going to go and wait for the bottom bar to go away, which it did. And all right, so then I'm going to go ahead and hit the split. All right. Okay, so I don't need that. I can get rid of that, and I can get rid of that. So now I got trimmed out the beginning here, so I will trim that out. And I can move my tracks over. And now I can go to the end of the video and say, this is where I want to end. The 4 tabs. So now that we're done with the screen recording, I'm going to hit escape, in which case you can download it as an MP4 file. You can share it with your students. You can add it to your Google Drive. And there are ways to instantaneously add things to YouTube, which I will show you how to do at the end in using the larger guide. So really, that's the basics of the 4 tabs. So All right. Now, eventually, you'll notice that it finishes processing, and now this is the actual sound bar or sound wave right here, which will be very helpful because you want to find gaps. You want to be like, oh, maybe you heard a background noise that you want to get rid of, and it helps you more precisely edit. We're done with the screen recording. I'm going to hit escape to get. All right, so we don't need that. Larger guide. Okay, so that looks like a natural good break there. You can use at the bottom right the zoom in function to get a more precise cut. You can download it as an MP4 file. You can share it with your students. You can add it to your Google Drive. And there are ways to instantaneously add things to YouTube, which I will show you how to do at the end in using the larger guide. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it there. So again, I'm going to scissor. And going to select the first track and scissor that again. And delete, and delete. So now this is where it ends. At the end in using the larger guide. Okay, so now we have the end of the video. And now move to the beginning. Hey, welcome to a video about WeVideo and its basics. Okay, so that's cool. So I'm good with this. Now, I believe at some point there was a larger gap or a pause. So let's go take a look at some of this. Podcasts and other sorts of media pretty easily. Okay, so to sign up. All right, that's not really what I'm worried about. There was some other things where I heard my phone ring, which I believe was over here. Reach out and get those students added for you. But just for now, it's a staff-only resource. Okay, so yep. So then you heard that, which you really don't want. But this is where I restarted. So again, I'm going to trim that out. And then, so I have to click from one track to the other. Now, if you're just using the screen capture function and not the webcam function, you'll only have one track, which will be pretty helpful for this. So that's the end of it. And then resource. Okay, so now I will clip this out. And then I'll switch to this, and I will clip this out. All right, so I don't want that. Don't want that. And now again, I'm going to drag over the video and line them back up. So click and drag. So when you log into WeVideo, you're going to use WeVideo.com, and you're going to click login in the top right of the screen, and then log in with Google. You're going to use your school Google account to log in, and that's going to be your master account. Okay, so as far as the tabs go, your first tab is going to be your dashboard, and you can start a new video, which is just a video. Yep.
Call from private caller.
Yep, there we go. All right. So we're going to talk about how do you edit things out in a second. Because that happens in life. Okay, so your first screen. Okay, so this is where I begin. So let's go back here. Log in, and that's going to be your master account. Okay, so all right, so this is where that started. So again, we're going to click from that, and then and then we're going to make sure that the other track is selected, and then we're going to cut this clip out. And then I'm going to go find, where did I talk about it again? Let's see. That happens in life. Okay, so your first screen is... All right, so right here. Okay, so your first screen... So we're going to go and clip it here. Clip that, and then clip the other track. So now we can get rid of this. And we'll get rid of this track there. And I'm going to zoom out just a bit so I can match up my two tracks. So that's going to be next to this. And then I'm going to move this over to here. All right, so now we can take a look at the edit. Okay, so your first... And then I noticed that it's got a little bit of... There's a little... Okay, so there's a little bit of like 1 or 2 frames where we'll just join that together. So when you log into WeVideo, all right, that's good. So now we gotta go find the other edit that we made real quick. And then zoom in again. And all I'm really doing here is noticing that there's this track is not, there's a slight gap. So I can click and drag, and then it will sort of replace a little bit with the rough cut. And I think there's also like a little bit, no, we're good, okay. So again, I'll take the play and go back. Account. Okay, so your first screen is your dashboard, and from your dashboard, you can create a number. All right, so we like that. That's good. Okay. So we did that little edit. We took that little blit out. And for file, you can share it with your students. You can add it to your Google Drive. And there are ways to instantaneously add things to YouTube, which I will show you how to do at the end in using the larger guide. Okay, so we're really happy with this video. Now, one of the things that you can do with the picture is that if you're not happy with where it is, you can move it. So if you double click, that brings up the effects panel. So you can transform some things. So let's say I want myself to be in the bottom of the screen. So now see how you have these little white boxes around, but also this. So now I can move myself to here. I can move myself to here. It doesn't really matter. I can also make myself bigger or smaller, either by expanding it here or using the bars like here. Right? I can also make myself fit the frame. So if I just want to have me for that one section, I can do that. I can also rotate myself. So I don't want to do it. So I don't really want any of that stuff. Yeah, let's go ahead and move myself back there. If I want to rotate, I can rotate myself. I can also flip myself. If I want to look up upside down, that's fine. All right. So I really don't want to do any of those things right now, so I'm going to hit cancel. I'm going to leave myself there. Now, the one thing I'm curious about is if I change myself here. So let's say I do put myself down here for this one. I'm going to save changes. Okay. So this only affects the track where you're at. So it actually creates like a different clip. So if I don't, so I do want to put myself back in the corner. That sounds about right. All right, so this is actually pretty helpful if you want to create, or if you want to put yourself in different spots in the frame, you can make the webcam have different clips, and you don't even have to move it, right? So just by hitting the scissor here to split it. So if I do that, well, now I can put myself in a different spot in this clip versus this clip, right? So that's actually another useful thing. I don't really want that split, so I'm going to Control Z. All right, so let's say I am happy with this. So I'm happy with this. I can share, or sorry, I can save what I have. So it's already saved to my projects, so that's great. But I can go ahead and I can save it. All right, so make a thumbnail image. I can also save it as if I want to change the name. All right, so now it's just saved as my video, but maybe I want to save it as WeVideo PowerPoint. I go to OK. All right, so that will create a, when I go back to my media, it'll create that there. So when the editing is done and I'm ready to publish it, I'm going to go to finish. And so this gives you the option to name it. So I might call this WeVideo setup tutorial. Okay, and how do I want to export it? So I want the whole video. Do I want audio only? So I do want high definition, which is great for YouTube. And where do I want to put it? So I can add it to my Google Drive. So say I'm not connected. All right, well, let's connect it. Yep, allow. All right, I can also put it directly into my YouTube. And this is where this becomes very helpful. All right, so I'm ready to go, and I'm going to hit export. So it's going to give me this little message. It'll send me an email when it's done, which is really helpful, though it sends it to your fcpsschools.net account. So you'd have to check there. But eventually, as you can see, it's going to take about 4 minutes and 27 seconds for it to process that video. Once it's done, it's done. And then you can edit it and you can do what you will. So I just wanted to go over the basics here of how WeVideo works and how do you get something from a PowerPoint to YouTube. Also, a recommendation is if you're using PowerPoint, like regular PowerPoint to do this, that you also run your PowerPoints in full screen. So I hope you found this tutorial good and somewhat amusing. And yeah, thanks for watching.